spoken to the former Federal Chancellor of Austria, Alexander Schallenberg, on the strengthening of India-Austria ties, the EU trade deal, and Austria's position on the ongoing Middle East conflict. All this and more at the Raisina Dialogue being held in India's capital, New Delhi. Let's take a look.
Well, joining us now is former Chancellor of Austria, Alexander Schallenberg. Alexander Schallenberg, thank you very much for speaking with NewsX on the sidelines of Raisina Dialogue 2026. Let me first begin by asking you about India-Austria relations. Where do you see things headed, post Prime Minister Modi forging closer ties with your head of state?
Well, I was present at the time, and I remember as foreign minister, I had most encounters with my counterpart Jaishankar, more than with any other minister, actually. I believe we met 8 to 9 times in a couple of years, and Modi came to Vienna, and we are in the process of preparing a visit of the Chancellor, the current Chancellor of Austria. So I believe the things are looking bright. I'm expecting a lot more, actually, because I believe we can learn a lot from you. I'm myself an adept of the multi-alignment India is conducting. We had a very strong history in the non-alignment movement in the 60s and 70s. I believe there are things we can reattach to. And I myself am extremely happy personally because I grew up in India. I had my childhood in Delhi. So then I don't need a lot of convincing to strengthen the ties between Europe, Austria in particular, and India.
We also saw recently, the EU heads were the chief guests for Republic Day Parade 2026. We also saw the FTA finally being signed between both sides. Do you believe that does augur very well for trade and relations between European Union and India?
Absolutely. I was last month at the EU-India Forum, present here in Delhi, and I believe there's a high degree of expectation from both sides. What now is necessary to implement this free trade agreement as quickly as possible. And I would go even beyond that. We just discussed mobility. I would love to see more Indian students in Europe, more European students in India, more exchange also between our workforces, universities, culturally. There are many other things. And my aim would be to make these relations so strong that a change of government doesn't affect them.
Okay. We're seeing the Middle East conflict, of course, right now grow with each passing day. What is Austria's position on the conflict? And also, we've seen a kind of conflicting opinion within Europe, with certain countries, of course, backing the action, and certain others, say that this is not the time for war like Spain.
While I don't speak officially for the government of Austria, I'm a private person, I would say we would probably all agree that nobody sheds a tear for Khamenei. He has conducted a policy which we cannot agree on, especially on Israel. And you might know that Austria has a very strong position in the relationship with Israel, also for historic reasons, but not only for that. Israel is the only democracy and liberal society in the Middle East. Obviously, judged by international law, these operations are not sanctions by the UN Security Council. And for a country like Europe, international law is of prime importance. But we have to deal with facts as they are. And let's hope that this does not lead to a burning Middle East, to a conflagration of the conflict, to rising oil and gas prices affecting all our economies. And let's hope that this could lead to a freer Iran for the people there.
Are you hoping for a change in regime?
I'm always cautious. As minister and during my time, I was very cautious to call for regime change. Look at Libya, look at Syria, it didn't work too well. I always said too that on Russia, we are not in the business of regime change. So we should leave the Iranian future to the Iranian people. But yes, the current regime has conducted in the last couple of years terrorism. Look at the Houthis, look at the Hezbollah, look at Hamas. They had cost countless lives and disrupted the Middle East for the longest time. And I hope that the future of Iran is a different one. Let's not forget, and you probably know it better than most people in India, Persia is a culture. Humankind has a lot to thank for Persia. So I would make the difference between Persia and Iran, and I hope we will see more of Persia and less of Iran in the future.
My final question to you is the concern, though, that there is going to be a constraint on energy supply, energy security, oil's prices likely to rise, the economic cost for the world, not just for the region.
Well, the economic costs are already there. You know that one of the big projects I'm a fan of is the India-Gulf-Europe corridor. And this can only work if we have stability, reaching from Gaza to Iran. And there's such a potential there. So the costs are already there and can be seen. As far as energy prices will develop, I'm not an expert on that, but obviously the closing of the of Hormuz, the Red Sea is affected, Suez is affected. That is not a good news either for the businesses in India or in Europe.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
With journalist Dinesh Thakur, Uday Pratap Singh in Delhi, NewsX.
That's all we have time.